All right, here we are, episode 2, the BFR Podcast.
It took us long enough.
It only took us 2 months.
Almost 3.
Almost 3?
Yeah, because we missed May, June, and now it's halfway through July, and we did the first one on my birthday in April. So, been busy.
3 months. Yeah, listen, when you run 2 businesses and coach a bunch of people and you compete.
And you have a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah, and this one is a regular job. Listen, we're busy, all right? So that's
we got 2 kittens.
Yeah, there's kittens.
There's Sunny.
This one refuses to go lay down. So you guys are just going to have to deal with the dogs being in here. You might not be able to see the dogs, but they're in here. All right, so we need to go all the way back to, let's see, I competed. That'll be the first thing.
Yeah, that was in May.
Yeah, that was in May.
End of May.
So my second lifting competition, and I was definitely not 100% going into it.
Are we ever?
No, we are never 100%. So my shoulders messed up, my back was messed up. I just didn't feel great. And one of the reasons, I actually have a whole separate video that I'm going to do next week about why I left Cal Strength. But 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, I needed a little bit more specific coaching. The Cal Strength program really, it's a very broad program. It's a good program, but I needed some specific help with things, and that program wasn't going to do it for me. So I switched programs, I switched coaches. I'm with American Barbell now, and he's a local coach, and he's a friend of ours, and things are going great, and I feel a lot stronger. My second reason was I messaged the Cal Strength Masters coach and asked him about how I should be tapering for this meet, and he basically was just like, oh, just train through the regular training program and then go back to the taper that we did a couple months ago and use that. The odd part was I rolled back to that taper and it wasn't the normal competition taper. It was like an in-between competition taper where you would just, oh, it's Peggy. You would just go through, it's a very short taper. It's just a couple of days and then you just max out. And they were basically telling me to use that taper. And I did. And then Butcher actually messaged me and asked me what the hell I was doing and why I was going so heavy right before the competition. And I said, oh, this is how we always taper. And it really wasn't, because the taper wasn't correct. I went back and looked at the taper that I had used from the previous year, and it wasn't the same. So I didn't appreciate that. And really, I'm stuck in between like this weird thing where like I was doing the Cal Strength program and I was doing double sessions in the morning with extra exercises. So I needed more. I just needed more. Always, if you guys know me, always more.
I thought you said that was going to be a separate video.
All right.
Not now.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so I went to the competition. I was not 100%. The taper wasn't great. I wasn't happy with the program. And I dropped my openers a couple of kilos, and I just wanted to go 6 for 6, and I did.
Yeah, you did.
And that's all I really cared about. So, and I actually got a 1 or 2 kilo meat total PR. Just because I went 6 for 6. Mm-hmm. In my previous competition, I actually missed my last snatch. So I went 5 for 6 at the previous one. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I ended up totaling a couple more kilos.
Hey. What else?
And I didn't get hurt.
Nope.
And I didn't bomb out.
Nope.
Overall, that's a good day, especially in the lifting world. So then, June. So the guys competed
Yes, in Raleigh.
in Raleigh, USAPL, North Carolina State Championship. Raul competed, Giovanni competed, Mike competed, and Mike's buddy from California flew in and competed as well. We did not coach him, but he was there with the group, so we'll just include him. Overall,
I wasn't there. Dougie Doug had to do this all on his own and try to sell shirts, which is a super, super fun time trying to handle basically 4 people.
I basically handled 4 people
And made money.
and had a vendor table to sell shirts.
Yep.
And I did all of that on my own.
Yep.
Super fun times.
Yes.
We actually, so funny story, when you guys go to a meet and it's a big meet and it's multiple platforms and multiple flights,
They're not all on the same time.
just pay attention, everybody, because
Dougie Doug almost fucked some shit up.
these guys almost completely missed their entire time to warm up for squats. There was no, they didn't really give us a announcement from when they were rolling from flight A into flight B into flight C. And I think no, it was A, B, and C. They didn't have a D. And these guys were, most of them, in flight C.
I don't remember. I know, well, because Raul, Giovanni, and Mike were all the same weight class. They were all in the same flight.
They were all in the same weight class. Mike's buddy, George, was on another platform, but he was also in flight C. So the timing was all there, but they weren't doing any announcements. And all of a sudden, George was up on platform 3. And he literally had not warmed up at all.
Hey.
He ran out back, so he missed his first opener, just timed out. He was able to get in enough warm up. I think he only got in 2 squats before his opener on his second
I would
attempt.
die.
Yeah, as an equipped lifter, there's no way there's no way you'd be able to do that. It's just impossible. But
Even just at my advanced age.
there's no way. Even I can't do that. There's just no way.
But they got it done.
They got it done. And overall, I think George went like 6 for 9.
Mike went 6 for 9.
Mike went 6 for 9, and it was only because he made really big jumps on his third attempt. So he basically missed his third attempt on all 3.
He got a squat.
So he made all 3, yeah.
He made all 3 squats.
He made all
1
3
bench,
squats,
2 deadlifts.
made his bench opener, and then he just jumped too high. And I tried to warn him against it. We're going to talk about this later on, as long as we have enough time. You guys just listen to your coaches, people. And don't ego lift, right? You gotta play things smart. No matter how good you feel, you gotta play things smart, especially when it's a big meet like state championships. We have a kitten trying to attack our microphone cords right now. All right. So
Giovanni went 9 for 9.
Giovanni went 9 for 9. Raul went 7 for 9.
Commands.
He actually made all 9 lifts. He didn't fail any lifts. He just jumped commands. That's all. So even though he jumped commands on a couple of openers, we still went up because we knew they were all very, and we played his openers really, really safe. Really safe. Because that kid worked like an 18-hour shift at the airport like the day before that and moved houses.
And was in Spain.
And
He and Giovanni were both in Spain.
they were both in Spain
They
the week
didn't train
before.
while they were there,
Like once or twice.
which
but
is all I asked.
yeah. So the fact that these guys lifted at all, honestly, is really impressive.
Yeah. When you're
So they
young,
did
you
good.
When you're young, you can do dumb shit.
Anyway, so yeah. So Mike's buddy George, he made some big jumps that were too big. So he missed a couple of lifts. And
Mike's were there. It was
they're
just some,
he's just right there on the edge of those jumps. Each jump was literally that he missed. Each jump was just like 2.5 kilos too big. That's it. That's all. Yeah. He made some jumps that were like 12.5 kilo, and they just should have been 10. That's all. And
live and learn.
yeah, that's all.
It's hard when it's just one person there for 4 people too.
Yeah, it was really tough as a
Being able to pull numbers
as a coach and a handler. I mean, thank
have
God.
them put in the numbers and
Yeah, the good part was all 3 of them were on the same platform,
Yep.
so we were just cycling through. So it was really cool. There were a lot of high level lifters at that meet that were coaching people, which was pretty cool. So that was cool. So yeah, I drove to Raleigh. I trained Friday morning, drove to Raleigh Friday afternoon, spent the night in Raleigh, set up the shirt table Friday evening at the convention center, and then Saturday morning got up, sold shirts, handled all 4 of these guys, and then Saturday, immediately after the competition was done, 4:30, drove back to Charlotte, unloaded all the shirts, took a shower, packed a bag, and flew to Florida to take care of your ass.
Dougie Doug was pretty tired by the time Sunday night rolled around.
I literally worked like 48 hours straight as a coach and a vendor and a spotter loader, and that was fun. It was really crazy. I wouldn't literally.
I don't know if we'll plan that tight of a schedule again.
No. Now I'm emboldened. So now I know I can handle it. It was rough, but I could handle it. So you flew down on Friday.
Yep.
And then just hung out until I got down there.
All day Saturday. Didn't do anything. And then I lifted on Sunday.
So Powerlifting America,
Yep.
which is the new IPF affiliate for the U.S. Equip Nationals, 47 class, of course, because you're not allowed to be anything else.
Shame.
But the numbers on those girls in the 52s.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you were not doing great.
No. Nope, I was not.
No?
Nope. I may or may not have been dragged kicking and screaming to that one.
Yeah.
Up until like the week of.
So James and I pushed her.
I was not having, but they had a great time. Something misfired in my hip and my back, and I couldn't squat without like crying basically every time. Unracking the bar even, which is not a good time when you're an equipped lifter.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was very bad.
That's really rough.
It was a lot of soft tissue and getting needled and getting massage and going to chiropractor, and nothing would touch it. So we went and did what we could, which was not the best meet I've ever had by any stretch of the imagination.
Nowhere.
When your squat is almost 25 kilos below what you've done.
Yeah, I think your total was like almost 30 keys under
Yeah.
your previous.
I just couldn't friggin' squat without pain.
It just is what it is. But you got it done.
So we basically scorecard says 7 for 9, but we put in the last squat to help out the young kids.
Yeah,
so
you want
I really didn't go 7 for 9. It's more like 7 for 8, but
Yeah.
we just put that attempt in to help them.
Yeah, you only really went 8.
Yeah.
And you went 7 for 8.
Yeah.
And that bench that you missed.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's the only complaint about the whole weekend.
I mean, I would that and not just that handoff, but
I made the first one. The second one we did kind of fuck up and we forgot to do the shirt.
yeah, we forgot to pull your shirt down.
There was also a rough ass handoff, but I mean, you're at a meet where you're not getting the same handoff from people you're used to, and
Yeah.
I just need to explain it like I am to a child. So
That kid, I have to say, like the PLA setup, the setup was good, the judging was good, yeah, everything was fine. It was just this one kid on
Just
this
one.
one platform. The handoff for bench was just like
Here.
it was just like throwing
here, I'm
like
like, oh, I'm in a shirt, asshole.
yeah. So that's the only complaint, and we literally had them switch out the kid
For the last attempt.
for the last attempt,
And it was fine. I mean,
and we got the shirt pulled down, so the last
It is-
attempt went fine.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just learn you have to be much more specific.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
But you won.
yeah, actually, beat some teeny tiny little girl,
Yeah.
but
So first
it was
place.
good. It was clean and organized, and
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really want to get into the whole USAPL
Powerlifting America,
PLA.
IPF split.
like it's been talked about to death.
Best thing is just talk to your coach and figure out what your actual goals in lifting are, and figure out which organization is better for those goals. And a big part, since Powerlifting America is newer, is they just don't have as many meets, so travel expenses.
Yeah. And
I think they're mostly in Florida. One of the head guys is out west somewhere, and they have someone else in New York, so that's where a lot of the meets are.
yeah.
But there's really, both are still good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna
Like,
shit talk either one of them.
Nah, we've had great, really good experiences with USAPL. We're fairly close with the USAPL heads for North Carolina. Everything rolls good. I sell shirts at these meets.
We have lifters there
We
now,
always
too.
have lifters at these meets, and everything's run super smooth. The production value is good. We have friends there. It works out really well. But you're just not, if you're rolling USAPL, you're not going to go to world championships.
No.
It's going to be continental US, and that's it.
For the most part.
So if you want to go to IPF Worlds or World Games or whatever, then you're going to have to you're going to have to go PLA. And
But it's almost the same. Like, half of the judges stayed with USAPL. Some of them split to Powerlifting America, so that wasn't even really a difference.
Right.
You're just not going to get all the bells and whistles and light shows and music. I mean, they still have music and shit
yeah.
down there, but no crazy backdrops or anything. It's a little bit more.
No big LED flashing screens and everything. Yeah, which is
It's fine.
It is. It's super cool, and they don't have Gino.
No, but I mean, it's
When we went to North Carolina State with the boys, they all got to meet and see Gino, and they were all super excited. They were like, "Oh, it's the pirate guy," and I'm like, "Yes, it's Gino. It's the pirate guy." Yeah,
both organizations serve a purpose.
Yes.
It's just what works best for what you want.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. So we don't have any complaints on either side.
Nope.
So
Apples and oranges.
yeah,
All
apples
these,
and oranges.
like, naysayers and shit talkers, like, competition is a good thing. I mean, not everyone wants to wear Nikes. Not everyone wants to wear Adidas. So
Right.
I think that having some sort of choice as a lifter is a good thing, as long as it's not USPA.
Yeah. So on from that, man, there has been a ton of lifting to watch
Yeah.
for like the past 90 days.
Yeah.
Tons. But speaking of USAPL, USAPL Mega Nationals in Vegas.
That was before mine. That was still in June. I think. Yeah. That was still the first weekend of June because then the guys lifted, then I lifted. And then the week after I lifted was USAW Nats.
Was USAW, that's my point, yeah.
Right. And
so
then,
like you had USAPL Nationals in
Yep.
Vegas, and then 4th of July weekend, you had USAW Olympic lifting Nationals in Las Vegas.
Yep.
And there was a ton of great lifting there. Travis Mash's guys all smashed records, did great.
Amy's girls all did good.
Yeah, Amy's girls all showed out and did good.
A lot of the Cal Strength people, your former teammates.
My
did
former
well.
teammates, Cal Strength, they showed up, did great.
A lot of the teen girls
Oh, yeah.
showed the fuck out.
Yeah, the juniors teen girls came and just smashed.
Yeah, like teenagers smashing open records. You're
Yeah.
like, what the shit?
That's crazy. Olivia Reeves, man, just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, just putting up stupid numbers. And then after the competition, goes out back and hits like a 200 kilo back squat, no wraps, no sleeve, no belt.
Like, ugh.
And did it like with almost zero like emotion or like it was nonchalant. 200 kilo back squat, 19-year-old lifter.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, I didn't get to watch many of the teens when I competed because it was all masters and teen, sub-junior, well, not teen, it would be sub-junior and juniors all lifted at the same time. And I mean, like Jack and Rosie were like, yo, these kids are fucking like animals.
Yeah, these kids are putting up just stupid numbers. It's like every year these kids just get stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
The big thing is they're starting earlier, which is the method to which all of the other countries, Europe, Russia, all these countries have gotten, even Asia, Japan, China, all these countries that have gotten amazing lifters, Olympic lifting and powerlifting, they start them super young. That's how they do it.
Yep. We're getting there.
We're getting there, America.
Yep.
So, if you got kids, let them lift.
They can lift younger than whatever they used to say, like
Oh,
15
God.
or
They
16.
used to
It's
say
fine.
16. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
And then,
Last weekend,
last weekend was World Games. And
which is all equipped.
I'm not going to, like... Oh, also before that, a couple months ago, was European Championships for lifting.
Yep.
And I watched a ton of that because there were a ton of great lifters.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of scandal involving avoiding WADA drug testing. And literally, one of the guys literally set a world record and then like ran out of the venue. And they were like, hey, we need to drug test him. And he was like, I'm sorry, I have a plane to catch. Like, we have a ticket. Like, I have a plane to catch. I have to go.
So, in my Adele training class, I mean, like, that's kind of a valid excuse, but, like, you're not supposed to leave a competition if they corner you. It's like an automatic refusal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if WADA did their job,
he got out of the building before they could say, hey, we need you for drug testing. From what I understand, like, WADA walked out back and was like,
hey, where's so-and-so?
hey, where is he? And they were like, he went to the airport already.
Lies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
right.
it's definite bullshit. So
Anyway.
So World Games was this past weekend.
Yes.
And I have to say, like, I was almost as excited to watch World Games and very in-depth with it. Like, we watched it live from the gym. I watched
it from here while I shouldn't say that.
I watched
I might have been working.
I watched almost every single lift, almost
We
every single
missed
session.
A couple
While we
things
were out
on
grocery
Saturday,
shopping.
but it wasn't very much, and it
No.
wasn't like
Crazy world record stuff.
eh.
We made it back to watch Ian what's his
deadlift,
last name?
Ian
Anderson?
Bell.
Ian Bell. Not
Yeah,
Ian Anderson. I'm
that
thinking
was
of somebody
the
else.
heavyweight category.
Yeah. We made it back to watch him deadlift.
Yeah.
Which
And
was-
that was the same one with that other guy from USVI, Alex Mayer, who set the world record that I sent y'all today.
Yeah.
Because he pulled something stupid, like
Yeah.
355 kilos at 83 body weight.
If I'm really good, I'm going to try and splice in some of these lifts. Maybe. We'll see.
So World Games takes like the 12 best from all 8 weight classes, but they like pare them down. So it's like the 47s and the 52s compete against each other. And then they take the scores and they divide it by your body weight to get a coefficient. So even if you get the highest total, you may not actually win because
Nope.
of body weight, which
Yeah.
actually happened.
That happened.
And scandal.
Yeah.
But I don't really, there's not a whole lot I can say on that. We weren't there, even though you got some
Well,
insight from
some
some people who were there.
firsthand information, but
It's
there
interesting that
there
they
were some
do-
ridiculous lifts. There
Yeah.
were definitely
There were some world records.
there were some world records.
Quite a few, actually. That one dude finally broke one for like the men's 87
Didn't-
class, the Chinese Taipei, Taiwanese
Oh
guy
yeah.
that stood for like 2 decades.
Yep. So he got that.
Yep.
Taylor LaChapelle opened with a world record.
Well, junior world
with
records.
a junior world
Because
record.
the girl who beat her is like obscene. Carola Gara,
Oh yeah.
the Italian girl,
Yeah.
who was just like a smoke
Yeah.
show.
So Taylor still got second.
She got second.
Yeah.
She set 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3 records.
Yep.
And then Kimmy Johnson did good. I know she
That came
was
down to deadlift.
yeah,
and the
she
girl
was
from Ukraine beat
she
her.
was upset that she didn't do as good as she wanted to. But she still did good.
She finished 4th out
Yeah.
of 12, which
Yeah.
is no joke.
She
And the way
just-
they break everything down, it's literally like
It's only a couple points.
you're getting, well, I mean, you basically have to think you take the top 6 out of each weight category and then you're competing against each other.
right.
So the fact that like you came in 4th out of 12,
Right,
like
it's still
the
good.
literal best in
Yeah.
2 weight categories is still
But what about
Nuts.
all the girls bombing out on bench press?
bench is a bitch, man.
Bench is a bitch, I know. Holy
bombed on it.
shit. Like
It's hard. It's hard, and I mean, if you're from a country that doesn't pay their athletes for finishing well, like some of the former Soviet Union stuff,
right.
and if you're young, you're probably going to go to Worlds later this year, so it's kind of like a fuck all, like
Yeah.
go big or go
You
home
just go-
because you
yeah.
win on those points. If
Which
you
is
don't go heavy enough, you're not going to place higher.
Which is one of the
So-
things that I wanted to talk about was Joe.
So he wrote
He
that same, he basically what I said.
he
He's like,
literally said he just wanted to put up
The biggest
most
numbers.
monstrous numbers that he possibly could.
yeah, and he still would have only come in 6th. And he bombed out, and he was like, "Yo,
And
that
he bombed
squat
out.
though."
And he
was-
bombed out
that
on
fucking-
bench. But that squat was insane.
Yeah, that was the first 1,000-pounder, and then the dude from Egypt hit 2 over 1,000.
Ahmed?
Mhm.
Ahmad.
I think it's Ahmed. I think
Ahmad.
it's an E.
Yeah.
If not, sorry.
Yeah. 1,103?
I think it was 10-13 or something.
1013?
And he only missed that second one because of a bad rap.
Like on
So come November, he's gonna.
So Big Joe going to Worlds, Ahmed going to Worlds,
Plus all those other guys.
and all the other guys, they've all already said you are going to see crazy numbers when Worlds happens.
I mean, that's gonna be nutty after what happened at World Games.
Yeah.
Plus, no Russia still,
Plus no Russia.
which is fucking everything up. Ukrainians did well.
Yeah, the Ukrainians actually did well, and it was really cool to see.
was
So,
nice.
like the lightweight girls, the Ukrainian got second or third.
Third,
Yeah, and then one of the Ukrainian guys won.
2 Ukrainian guys won.
Yep.
I think at least 2.
Yeah.
Another Larissa is the girl who beat Kimmy for 3rd
Yeah.
on her last deadlift. So
Yeah, don't
Just
forget
because
that,
it's equipped,
kids.
you can still deadlift.
Yeah, you got to deadlift. Lindsay's first original powerlifting coach, Scott Shetler, told us that the competition doesn't start until the bar hits the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlift is where you can make it up. Yep. So if you can deadlift, you can win.
Yep. I mean, that happened several times over at Raw Worlds.
And Kimmy had
That
that.
happened too. Raw
Well,
Worlds.
oh yeah, Raw Worlds
Totally
happened.
freaking forgot about that. That shit was in June too?
Oh, the one in South Africa, in
Yeah.
Johannesburg, at the crazy Animal Kingdom
With the
resort
monkeys.
place with the monkeys all over the place.
But yeah, that couple people won on their very, very last pull.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you got to think, like, Kimmy would have come in third if she'd have made
The last.
that last deadlift,
Yep.
and it just slipped
Yep.
on her right hand. And that, like, she had it otherwise. It just slipped on her right hand.
Yep.
But the robbery, the absolute highway robbery.
No one who really knows anything is going to look back and agree with the jury that Bonica should have gotten red lights. on
Bonica
that
got
third.
robbed. And
I don't want to talk too much about it for.
yeah, she definitely got robbed. You
But
can
yes.
look back at it and it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So, and I'm sorry about our friends from Canada. You can be upset all you want. I'm sorry. Bonica won.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's that.
That's all in the lifting world.
yeah.
Now we're just all plugging away, working technique shit.
Yeah, technique stuff, a little bit of off-season stuff. So I switched coaches, so same thing. So now I'm looking at my next competition October. So everything right now is volume on squats, lots of pauses, lots of technique work, and not a ton, like my accessory work is actually very short, but it is super, super, super specific to my issues with my lower back and my right shoulder and my tendonitis left elbow. Because, I'm old. So, like, everything is, right, my back. Yeah, no, other hand.
But then it's like a new girl.
All right, I can't. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Anyway.
But yeah, everything's technique right now. You're just getting back into programming and lifting. So everything's light.
Very light. Switched physical therapy groups too
Yeah.
to try to remedy this issue.
So
Doing a lot better.
Lots of changes. This is what you're going to notice. Anybody that's at like even an intermediate or mediocre level lifter like myself, you're going to go to a competition or you're going to go through a training block. Something bad happens or things don't turn out the way you want them to. You got to reassess and you got to look at what the issues are and you got to go back, figure out what to fix. If you got to go to physical therapy, if you've got to switch coaches and switch programming.
Find the most expensive physical therapist in Charlotte.
Holy shit.
But
yeah. But in 2 sessions, they've already.
pay for what you get.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. Yeah.
Yep.
So physical therapy, massage therapy, dry needling, programming, different coaches, whatever you got to do, just figure it out.
I'm still getting yelled at. I already got told what to weigh last week. I was like,
Sweet.
ugh.
Yeah. No, I'm the heaviest I've been in a while. And my coach is like, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. He basically wants me heavy for like the next 2 months. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. So I just got to maintain 102 and we're kosher. And I'm back down to that today. So I'm okay. Just got to watch my ass on Sundays.
Sundays are hard.
But anyways, the other last thing to talk about, is
Whilst we're in the off season.
while you're in the off season and you're figuring things out, and you're going through technique work and you're going through volume work.
And there's some different shit written in there.
Your coach is gonna throw you for a loop.
You're unconventional.
Yeah, like you're gonna do some things that you don't normally do in your program. And it's fine. Just do it. You can complain about it a little, but you still got to do it. And the whole this feels weird or I don't like this. Like,
You should have seen me do conventional deadlifts on Saturday, because that shit, I sent the videos to James. Obviously, he was busy with coaching at World Game shit, but I'm like laughing at myself while lifting, like in the middle of the video.
While doing conventional.
It's so bad.
Listen.
It's so bad. I'm doing it.
Do you know how much your coaches give a fuck about this feels weird or I don't like this? Like, we don't care.
Y'all can
like
take
it's so funny because
wild ride on my programming and tell me what you don't like.
Right. I mean, like, yeah, you just don't give a shit. I'm just like, whatever, just do it.
For a reason. Anyway. Just do it.
Yeah,
But if your coach can't explain why the hell you're doing it, then definitely question.
Right there. Your coach should be able to adjust your program. Your coach should be able to change things in your program and fix things in your program if they're hurting you, or if you question your coach as to why you're doing something, they can't explain why and they say just because. That's not a valid piece of information or reason as a coach. No. It's not just because, okay? Everything has to be for a reason. And if you have a good coach, they'll be able to explain it to you, or, you should be able to trust your coach that what they're giving you, they're giving it to you for a reason. So even though we don't care.
Or you can take what your physical therapist gives you, and then you can give that to your coach, and then it becomes something completely different, and you can't walk for 3 days.
Right. There you go.
Because you're like, wow, I'm keeping all this a secret from now on.
So just follow the program, do what your coach tells you to do. Everything will be okay. That's how this rolls.
Will it be okay, Penny Puppy?
It'll be okay, Penny.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I think we've talked long enough. And that is it. You don't have anything else to say, right?
No.
Good? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. 3, 2, 1. My clap.
At least you don't have the clap.
Oh, wow. That's an outtake right there.